Hi everyone. It's been like over a year and I've been doing this thing called HDF. Oh, you don't know what HDF is? It's healing, dealing, and feeling. This past year has been really hard for me. It's super challenging to make content on a consistent basis. My attachment to making everything perfect and the control of that really made me spiral inward. And I then started to hate cooking. I felt like the joy of cooking was no longer there because it was tied into performativity. It was tied to being relevant on social media. And that just took away all of the nutrients of why I wanted to do this in the first place. And then eventually I started hating eating. Y'all, a kitchen top who loves food, hating eating, something is wrong. And I needed to really honor that and just take a step back to figure out what is going on internally. Even in the process of editing my past Lost in the Fish Sauce episodes, I realized that, oh, some things are coming up for me. Why is it hard for me to edit? Oh, I'm listening to my voice. Oh shit, I think I'm experiencing some gender dysphoria. Not until I really embodied spaciousness, which opened the door to stillness, that is when I really had a chance to really sit with what was coming up. Not only a lot of the traumas around confinement, rape, but a lot of gender dysphoria that I didn't ever think was existing. I started to take space to take my grief and my healing a lot more seriously. So that's what I've been doing this whole past year. As we are recording right now, I believe I'm on 10 months on testosterone. I've never felt the happiest I've ever felt in my entire life. Although I don't feel quite as aligned, I feel a lot closer to safety and home within my own body. And I think that's something I've never really felt until now. I wanted to dedicate this series of cooking episodes on my tea journey and how I've transformed and how I am navigating the world today as someone that feels a lot more grounded, not fully there, but just how I'm surviving and existing, especially throughout the pandemic. So for today, I am cooking one of my favorite dishes. It's a Thai soup. It's called tom kha. I think soup always has helped me feel a lot more aligned in my body, and hopefully it can help you too. In the past, some of y'all have shared with me that you want me to do and explore more vegan food. Well, I listened. And so today, we're not gonna do 1 mushrooms. We're not gonna do 2 mushrooms. We're gonna do 5 mushrooms in this tom kha dish. So let's get started. And what you'll need is, ooh, that looks good. Look at that backlit. You're gonna need limes, chili oil, tomatoes, cilantro, galangal, fresh picked kaffir leaves, lemongrass, coconut milk, mushrooms. And this is 5 different kinds. Right here we have enoki mushrooms. This is straw mushrooms, and it comes from like a can that looks like this. Oyster mushrooms, the regular white mushrooms, I don't know what it's called, and this longer stringy mushrooms, which I don't remember what it's called, but I'll put it on the caption. Palm sugar, because this is vegan, this is vegetarian fish sauce. We're gonna start by chopping off the limes. I like to roll it. And we're gonna cut the cilantro. So a tip is to do a bear claw so you don't cut your fingers, and then just kind of use your wrist and just let the knife do the work. Now for the lemongrass. If you have like one of these meat tenderizer things, I would suggest to bring that. And if you don't, what you can use is a pot and just like bang the shit out of it. So I like to get the first layer out because it tends to be dirty. And then what I do is I just chop it from the top and then chop the ends. And then from here, I'm just gonna bang away. So for the galangal part, galangal's kind of like it looks like a ginger, but it's not. It's a lot more acidic. And this is essential for the tom kha. All right, here we go. And what you wanna do is just cut it in like chunks. I think I'm gonna use just about this much. So now we're gonna be cutting the tomatoes and then some of the mushrooms. And I'm just gonna cut it in half, like so. Okay, that's all the tomatoes. For the mushrooms, we're gonna take these. I like to cut them about almost an inch thick, but it just depends on your preference. Okay, for the oyster mushrooms, and what I love about mushrooms, you can just cut them in any size, but it'll still taste good. So I'm just gonna cut it in like fourths like that. For me, I'm not hardcore about making things super even unless I'm doing like a fine dining type of things. There's pros and cons for not doing things even. If you wanna cook or like fry, like let's say garlic, it's helpful to have things even so the timing is a lot better. But in this case, because it's in a soup and we're hella gay and queer, we could be in all forms, shapes, and sizes. And then for the rest, we're just gonna break in with our hands when the soup is at a boil. Okay, so once it reaches to like an almost boil, I like to throw in the ingredient that will take the longest to break down. And the two things are lemongrass and galangal. Toss it in, toss these in. And I'm actually gonna also throw in the kaffir leaves. I mean, I kind of go a little wild with kaffir leaves. Some people put a little bit less, but I'm just gonna do all of it. Since it's going to a boil, I'm gonna start adding the coconut milk. I'm gonna do 1 can of coconut. Actually, we're gonna do 2 cans of coconut. Okay, now what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to add the mushrooms. And I'm gonna do the oyster mushrooms first. Just gonna go in with my hands. And then I'll add the other white ones. And I probably won't be able to fit all of it in because I have a small pot, but I got a little too excited. So for the gnocchi ones, you can just break them up with your hands, like so. The straw mushrooms. Now we're gonna squeeze some limes into the pot. Squeeze your limes. Let's stop right there. I think so far I used about almost 2.5 limes. And actually, usually the lime kind of goes at the end, but whatever, we'll do it this way today. I'm gonna use the vegetarian fish sauce. And that feels like about 3 spoons worth, or 2 spoons worth. I'm going to add 2.5 spoons of palm sugar. And then what I also do is add the chili oil. So I think about 5-6 spoons worth of chili oil, which personally I don't think is that much, but you know, subjective. Some people are weaker than others. It's okay, you know, survival of the fittest, whatever. I'm gonna let that simmer. And then I'm gonna add the cherry tomatoes. Actually, let's go for it. We're gonna use all of it. Add the cilantro. Oh, wow. You know, sometimes you make something and you're just like, wow, these hands made this. It looks really beautiful. Okay, we're gonna stir this. And then I'm going to give it a taste. I think it needs more lime and more fish sauce, vegetarian fish sauce. So small, okay. So that, add the rest of the lime. So we've used about 4 limes with this pot. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and put it to like a medium low simmer because it's about to go to a full boil. Oh, looks great. Okay, let's give it a try. So I'm gonna now turn off the fire. We're gonna do one final taste. Let's do it with the mushrooms. Wow. I made that. It tastes so creamy. It tastes acidic. It's multi-layered, just like you. I can still feel the coconut milk and the soup just go down into and spreading into my diaphragm, into my belly, and I just feel, it just feels so, I feel so much more at home, and I hope you do too. I hope you enjoy.